All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Josiah, and I am part of the growth and marketing team for Payable Africa. So we'll get started right now as we wait for others to join us. So I'll start with the introductions. Today, we are going to be looking at the topic unlocking growth for your business, how accounts payable automation can transform your business. So whether you are a small business owner, a medium business owner, or if your business can be termed as a large one, then this webinar is for you. And at the end of this webinar, we're going to give room for you to ask your questions. So please have them ready so that once it's time, we can address them. For this webinar, our host and speaker is Adebisi Oyedele, who is a business development manager here at Payable Africa. Payable Africa is a subsidiary of BuyPower.ng, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. And if you are not, BuyPower.ng is a platform that you can use to purchase electricity units, airtime, data, and pay for your cable TV subscription. So you can download the mobile app or simply visit buypower.ng on your web browser, create a free account, and make your utility bill payments in just a few clicks. I will introduce the speaker for today's webinar to us, but before that, I'd like to mention a couple of our other subsidiaries and brands which I've sent to the incoming messages. So I've already mentioned buypower.ng, then Payable Africa, a subsidiary of buypower.ng, is a free-to-deploy accounts payable solution that businesses can make use of to automate expenses. So if you have people on payroll, you can make use of Payable Africa to make payments to them at the end of every month. You can use it for assets and expense management, bulk payments, vendor management, project management, and a couple of other things that we're going to touch on later in this webinar. We also have BuyPower Microfinance Bank, which not many people may be aware of. But if you need virtual accounts to receive payments, to enhance your payment collection efficiency, you can get in touch with us after this webinar to get on board. Then we have BuyPower Pass too. BuyPower Pass is a property management tool for those of you living in estates and other forms of residential areas and commercial areas across Nigeria. So if your estate needs emergency management, space management, visitor access, budget management, and every other thing related to your estate living, then you need BuyPower Pass. And we'll provide you with ways to get in touch with us after this webinar. All right, so I will introduce our speaker now before she takes the stage. Adebisi Oyedele is a dynamic and results-driven business development executive with a unique background that masterfully blends the art of performance with the science of sales. She has a master's degree in theater arts and years of experience driving growth for fast-paced, tech-driven startups like BuyPower and Payable Africa. She brings a profoundly human-centric approach to business development. Her long-standing passion for tech sales is now fortified by formal training, having recently completed the product management certification, deepening her understanding of product-led growth and go-to-market strategies. This allows her to bridge the critical gap between customer needs, product value, and commercial success. Adivisi doesn't just talk about engagement, she lives it. Her expertise lies in her exceptional ability to connect with audiences, build genuine trust, and convert leads into lasting partnerships. She has a proven track record of generating significant revenue through strategic relationship building and a personalized outreach approach. Beyond her corporate achievements, she is a recognized awardee of the Top 40 International Leading Youth Award and a seasoned speech coach. This powerful combination of stagecraft, salescraft, and product knowledge makes her a captivating speaker who translates complex business concepts into relatable and actionable insights. Please join me as we welcome Adibisi Oyedele to take the stage.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Please confirm that you can see me and you can hear me loud and clear. You can do a thumbs up if you don't want to unmute your mic. It'll be nice that we just stay muted until we start taking questions. Hi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're joining from. How are you all doing today? Okay, I think somebody's raising a hand. Yusuf, you might be raising your hand. Okay, okay. All right then. So we can just stay muted until we start taking questions. If you have any reaction, you can do like a thumbs up, and then Josiah can just let me know that everybody's still following. Also, if you have questions, you can use the raise hand button, just raise your hand, and then Josiah will also take note of you and indicate as soon as it's time. Okay, so let's get into it so that we don't take too much of our time. My name is Adebisi Oyedele. Thank you, Josiah, for the very interesting profile reading. Okay, my name is Adebisi Edele, and I'm a business development manager, with a passion for driving growth and operational excellence. And today we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic, a topic that a lot of people will see as a back office function. But if you check internally, it has the immense potential to actually transform your business and drive operational excellence. And it's no other than accounts payable automation and how it can unlock growth for your business. Okay, so before we start, I want you to be ready to, rethink how you can manage your finances. Also, in the process of the session or while the session is going on, I want you to be as open minded as possible. And at the end, be ready to also ask questions so that, we can be on the same page. So just ask all the questions and clarify all the doubts. Okay, moving on, I'm going to be sharing my screen very soon, very shortly. However, I might have to disable my camera so that you don't get distracted with my beautiful face as it gives the slides that I'm going to be sharing. So please pardon me and bear with me. Right. Okay, so we're just going to get into it. And as soon as you can see my screen, give a thumbs up, and then Desire would let me know, that we're all good and we can progress. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So I'm just sharing my screen now. Just a minute. So Josiah, please just let me know as soon as you can see my screen.
All right.
Is it visible now?
Yes, it is. We can see your screen.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. So unlocking growth, how accounts payable automation can transform your business. Okay. Let's start with a moment of honesty. So for far too many businesses, right, the accounts payable department isn't just a function, right? We all know that it's a chronic headache. This is where invoices pile up. This is where we see manual data entry errors. And all of these things can become like an irritating norm. We also see a lot of endless chase for approvals, which consume valuable time. Now, the question for you today is, are you feeling it? That's the accounts payable headache. We're going to be discussing the hidden costs, the bottlenecks, the challenges, and all of that. And we all know that the number one on the list for the pain points would be paper overload. in this age and time, just imagine that a lot of businesses are still drowning in physical invoices. I mean, all of these things can lead to slow processing. You're at risk of losing documents because there are a lot of papers that you're dealing with, maybe as a finance person. You can also be posed to security risks, okay? Because a lot of anything can happen, honestly. And just imagine situations where somebody just gets hold of maybe an invoice and then threatening your vendor or your supplier because of the details that they have on there and all of that. Another pain point here that we'll be discussing also is the manual data entry. I mean, we're humans, right? And we're prone to errors. So that means that for every single time that you have to do all of these things manually, maybe trying to impute an information from your invoice into a system, maybe an Excel sheet or something, there's a tendency that you can make mistakes. There's a tendency for duplicates, there's a tendency for incorrect data, and then reconciliation at the end of the day becomes a nightmare. Because this is where you see a lot of finance guys, calling different departments that have maybe requested for money for travel expenses and the like, saying, "Oh, how much did you collect this day?" and all of those things. There's also the pain point of the slow approval cycle. I mean, think about it. Just imagine that there are maybe 5 to 10 people on the approval workflow. And for me that I've requested for money to do like an urgent errand, I have to wait for all of these guys, to approve. Um, because a lot of people are busy. The COO is busy, my head of department is busy, the finance guys are busy. I have to start knocking on, their offices from time to time just to remind them that they've not approved a request that I've sent in maybe like 16 days ago. And this is a headache for a lot of people. There's also the case of frustrated vendors. So think about it like for all of the vendors that you're engaging or the suppliers that you have engagements with, all of these guys are expecting their payments on so due dates, and then it becomes a headache for them as well because they've not received their payment after even delivering the service to you. And of course, there's the missed early discounts. And we all know that all businesses like discounts, right? I mean, who don't like that things? A wolf is good, right? If you're using a manual process, there's a tendency that you can even miss a discount because all of these things have due dates. And if you don't keep to time or you don't follow the timeline as to when the discount will expire, there's a tendency that you can miss that as well. There's also lack of visibility. So just imagine that as a business owner or maybe a finance person, you're unable to get like a clear overview, or a holistic insight as to what is going on in your business per time. So that would mean that just at a glance, I can't see how much I'm spending, how much I'm making as a business, who is requesting for money, what projects I'm doing, how much I've spent on a particular project. And it definitely would impact strategic planning because I'm even unable to plan, right? I can't say, oh, I want to do XYZ as a result of this income or the revenue that I'm getting from so and so. So it's a lot of problem, honestly. And finally, there's also the fraud risk. I think I've mentioned this earlier anyway. So manual processes, in its form, in its essence, can inherently always be less secure. So it will be nice that all of these manual processes are stopped as a business. Now let's discuss the solution. Please confirm that you can still hear me. Can I get thumbs ups, please? Josiah, you can just help me confirm.
Yes, we can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, so now what's the powerful antidote to this persistent headache? It's simple. It's accounts payable automation, of course. And this is beyond basic processing. I already captured it here on the slide in a very self explanatory manner for you, so that you're able to relate and you're able to understand better. So I'm just going to read it through. It says accounts payable automation is a technology driven solution that streamlines and automates the entire process of managing invoices from the moment they are received up until the final payment is made. So pretty much it just means the entire invoice to payment life cycle, right? It's a process and it can be a very long process if it's not automated. Okay, so that just means that from the very first point when the invoice comes in up until the point of disbursement. This is what you should be automating as a business. Now, I also said that, leveraging on advanced technology. So if you're going to be coming on board on any accounts payable automation in its form, it has to be seamless. It has to have like a digital workflow, where invoices are created instantly and they are routed to the correct approvers. So you're already naturally eradicating the process of copying over 20 people in an email when I can just upload, and then the next level of approval gets it, moves it to the next level and the next level, and on like that till it gets to the final process. So I don't need to be spammed in my emails, or I don't need somebody, chasing me or knocking on my door from time to time just because there's a request that is delayed at any point in time. Now, you also need to consider that it has to be a solution that can integrate seamlessly, with other ERPs or accounting systems. So it just means that you're looking out for a solution that can integrate. Maybe you have something that is already working for you, like an accounting system. This solution should be able to integrate with it, or an ERP, of course. It although it also means that, just a minute, please. Okay. Although you also have to consider the fact that it should include a digital payment execution feature. So a lot of accounting softwares or systems don't exactly have like a wallet system where, it just can automatically make payments or do disbursement for you. It means that it can do maybe pretty much a lot of things, but disbursement will still mean you are going to like a banking app to now, secure payments, or you have to, go back to your bank and then you're downloading your statements and all of those things, whereby you can just have a synchronized system or solution that can capture all of that for you. Now, ultimately, this approach does not replace. Please take note of the fact that we're not trying to replace the finance team. Okay, it just means that you're empowering your finance team and then you're shifting their focus from mundane administrative tasks to more strategic work. Okay, because a lot of people will be like, oh, I already have a finance person that does all of these things. Yes, we understand. But what we're trying to do is to make sure that that finance team can work more efficiently for you. Okay, now moving on. Let's discuss the key pillars of transformation. Okay, because I understand that a lot of people will be like, okay, so yeah, you're talking about accounts payable automation. What are the benefits that I'm going to get as a business? Is it just say, oh, approval workflow, all of the things are what we're going to be discussing right now. Now, we're going to be looking at the first point here that says massive efficiency gains and speed. So this is very important because I kind of overemphasize this enough, to be very honest. You're definitely going to be eliminating manual entries. There's faster processing for you. There's the case of fewer errors. Data is more accurate and all of that. There's also accelerated approvals. I think I also mentioned this already because it just means that, it's a digital workflow. You're not losing invoices. Every single approval is going to the right person, rerouted to the exact person that needs to approve without necessarily having to send it to all at once, right? Now, take for example, Anna, an accountant. She can reduce invoice processing that she would naturally do for days in 2 minutes just by using our accounts payable automation solution. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to be thinking, oh my goodness, there's a lot of things that I'm dealing with right now. I have 15 days to do this, or the invoice is due for 2 days, and how do I do this? With accounts payable automation solution, you are sure to, collapse the entire process into minutes pretty much. And please confirm you can still hear me loud and clear. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Josiah. Another thing that you would be getting as a benefit would be enhanced accuracy and reduced risks. So this means error minimization for you. There's data integrity, of course. There's fraud prevention because you have now built-in controls and there are audit trails for you. So even if external auditors come, there are situations where you just download like a clear statement and then you can make like a very detailed reporting for them. There's also easier compliance. I mean, digital records will never lie for you. It will never lie to you, right? And there's also unparalleled financial visibility and control. I feel like every business owner, though, should prioritize this because, As a business owner, if I'm running a business, I should at one glance or one view be able to see every single thing happening for me in that business. So there should be real-time insights, and it means that I get to see what I'm spending, the liabilities. Is this still an asset for me, or is not a liability? Do I need to sell it off because I've spent a lot of money on it and it's not bringing the valued income for me? I also get to see my cash flow, how I'm managing my cash management, and all of those things, right? You also get to, make strategic decisions. So this just means that for every single person that, you like to say, maybe for instance, you're a project based organization and you work with budgets and all of that. So there's supposed to be the operational budget and, of course, the general budget, right? So for the operational budget, how much am I spending? Am I going above my budget or beyond? Am I within the budget? Am I still below? Am I making extra profit? And all of these things. So these are the things that you should put into consideration. And of course, these are the benefits that you get just by, having an accounts payable automation solution. There's also the process of forecasting. So forecasting is easier for you as a business because if, with a solution that can tell you how much you have made in the course of a particular period of time, I'm able to say, oh, I make XYZ. And then by in 2 months, I should make XYZ. And then, okay, in 2 years, I should be investing in XYZ. Okay, because I know that, okay, this amount of money from my profits is good enough to, start an investment in so and so for me. I think I put an example here that says great tech enterprise proactively managed cash invested in growth. Okay, so you also get like a significant cost saving and scalability, of course. So operational cost reduction is there for you. Labor is reduced. There's no need to buy paper. You're buying printers, you're buying inks, and all of those very manual processes. Buying rules, little things that we shouldn't even be seeing in organizations today are still there just because they're probably not open-minded or they probably not even heard about accounts payable automation. Okay. And there's also the early payments discounts. Everybody wants discounts. So if it's consistently captured, of course, you're able to just, pay your vendor at the right time, capture the invoices real time, process those invoices and pay them directly. And scalability. So AP automation will definitely scale with your business. It pretty much grows with the business, right? From point A to point Z. And for a lot of locally built solutions, it also means that, you have the opportunity to send in feedback and then they can help you even implement those feedbacks to fit the structure of your organization, as long as it will make sense for you as a business, of course. So it just scales with you, through the process. And then you don't necessarily have to be thinking, oh my goodness, it's this is, my business is this, my business is that, and all of those very, very stressful headaches. Okay, so moving on, there's also, the improved vendor relationships and internal collaborations. So we all know that happy vendors means happy life, right? I'm engaging a lot of vendors and they are unhappy with me. It just automatically would definitely affect how my business would turn out, because for all of these guys that are supplying me, if they are not happy with me, or maybe they're complaining about delayed payments all the time, or maybe there's something with my finance team, they just automatically would want to stop doing business with me. And that in turn also affects my business. Okay, there's also internal harmony. Anyway, so for internal harmony now, I think a good example would be that I don't necessarily have to even see your face before you get to approve my request. Take for instance, I don't like the finance guy, right? And but if there's no automation in place, it means I have to always knock on his office and see his face at the end of the day. But if it's an automated solution or a system, you just get to upload and then it goes to him automatically. He gets a notification, he does what he's supposed to do, and everybody's happy without necessarily having to even interface. And it also means that you get to streamline interdepartmental processes, due to streamlined processes and clear communication. So there's, due communication and it's effectively clear pretty much. All right. So please confirm again that you can still hear me before I proceed. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Josiah. Okay. So now let's discuss, how does all this directly translate or transform into growth for you as a business, because we keep saying accounts payable automation is equals to unlocking growth for your business. Yeah, so let's connect the dots. Of course, it's connected. The first one will be reallocating resources. Now, by automating repetitive AP tasks, your valuable human capital in finance can be, say, redirected towards strategic activities. So that just means that they can concentrate on core responsibilities of the business or their department. They can focus on other things like, say, market analysis. They're focusing on maybe new product development support. They can decide to, oh, let's, identify new investment opportunities and all of that, without necessarily having to waste very valuable and important time, on processing papers and all whatnot. Another connection would be optimized cash flow, because, having real time visibility and control over your outgoing funds and incoming funds, of course, would allow a more efficient cash management for you as a business. So this just means, automatically that you can, say, free up capital that might otherwise maybe be tied to an inefficient process, and decide to, say, reinvest it into expanding your operations, or reinvest it into marketing or research and development and all of those things for you. Okay, there's also faster response opportunity. Now, with streamlined financial operations, your business just automatically or naturally becomes more agile, right? You can even make quicker purchasing decisions. You can decide to onboard new vendors faster. You can respond to the market demands with greater speed and efficiency. You're pretty much just giving, this gives you like a competitive edge, in the market as a business. And finally, it helps with better data for planning. So this just means the accurate data that's generated from your solution, from your AP solution, can provide you with a foundation for more precise forecasting. I think I mentioned this already. Better budgeting, long-term strategic planning, and you're not just reacting pretty much, you are proactively shaping your future as a business. All right. Now, please, I want you to know that AP automation isn't just a cost-cutting measure. All right. It's a strategic investment that lays the groundwork for sustainable and scalable business expansion. And it in turns also empowers you or your entire organization to operate more efficiently, more intelligently, and of course with greater foresight. Okay. Okay. Please confirm that you can hear me again. I just really want to be sure that we're all following. You can do thumbs up. Okay, beautiful, fantastic. Thank you so much, Josiah. All right, so now getting started with accounts payable automation. I'm sure you're wondering, okay, we've heard a lot. We've seen the challenges, we've seen the problems, we've seen all of the errors that we are prone to. We've seen all the manual processes that are not likely to be the best. Now, what is the solution? We've also discussed that. I'm sure that you will also be wondering, okay, so what are the next steps? If I decide to, come on board or have an accounts payable automation, or, buy or whatever it is, what do I need to do? Now, the first thing you need to do as a business is assess your current process. You ask necessary questions. Now, the questions will be, you need to identify your pain points. What are my pain points? You're quantifying your time, your cost. Is it manual task? What are the things I'm doing right now that I feel they're not exactly working for me? Okay. Or they're maybe dragging me back or delaying me. And I feel like with all the things that ABC has been saying, maybe this accounts payable automation, can help my business. You also need to be able to define your objectives. What are the things or the specific challenges that you want to solve? You know your problems, right? But you also need to know what you want to solve. What is it that you want to solve? What measurable benefits do you aim to achieve? Is it maybe I'm processing X, Y, and then I feel like the approval workflow is delayed? Is it maybe I'm not able to capture my invoices, more swiftly? Is it maybe the finance team is very stressed out and there's a lot of burden on their neck? What are the things that I want to achieve? Now, you also need to consider research solutions. So in this case, there are a lot of, automation solutions out there, right? I like to say that a lot of people or a lot of, businesses or tech businesses have done a great job, or great jobs rather. However, you also need to, find platforms that will be robust. I think that's the major thing that you need to look out for, honestly. You need to be sure that the platform that you're coming on has to be very robust. It has to provide support for you. It also has to have the ability to integrate with other, existing solutions. Although I put here in caps lock, explore Payable Africa. So Payable Africa is an accounts payable automation solution that will help you streamline and manage all of your payment processes, across different businesses that you might be running. So even if you're running over 20 businesses, Payable Africa on just one, platform can help you manage all the businesses across. And it's a very robust solution. Okay, it can also integrate seamlessly with other accounting solutions. Although it can also work as a standalone software anyway, because it was built for small scale business, medium scale business, and a large scale enterprise, of course. So all of these things are what you need to consider, when researching the perfect or the ideal solution for you. Now, another thing you need to consider as a business is you don't just jump into it. You need to start small and scale up. Okay, so you can maybe consider like a pilot program, do testings here and there, and then you can get feedback before you now go into it fully. Okay, so that just means that, oh, let me test the waters. Let me see if this is working, right? I can put like maybe small money here and say, okay, is the money, is it going to the right recipient, or are these guys just saying a lot of English or whatever it is to just get my attention? So you might not necessarily want to put all of your eggs in one basket or put all of your legs into the water at once. You can decide to say, oh, I'm working on a project right now and I want to be able to manage all of those projects that I'm doing, or all of the payments that I'm making. You know, on that project. So say maybe my operational budget is 50 million. I want to say, let me test this solution with 5 million and then see where the payments are going, how the flow is. Is it going to the approval, right approval workflow? Is it, capturing my expense management? Is it capturing my vendor management and all of those things? And if I see that it's working fine, I can now decide to put the remaining 45 million. Okay. Now, you also need to prioritize change management. So, this just means that you need to engage your team early because, I mean, no business can stand alone without a team or, employees. So, communicate the benefits with your team. Let them know that, oh, this is something that you think would work for the business as a business owner or as a finance person. And say, maybe, okay, because get their opinions, onboard them, maybe let them test it and then give like honest feedback. And you should also provide training. Although Payable Africa as a product, already does all of this for you because we get to engage your team at Payable Africa. We also get to communicate the benefits with your team members. We help with onboarding process. We provide training. There's, full-time support and all of that. All right. So now the major one is it has to be cost effective for you as a business. I mean, AP automation is good, but if it's taking a lot from you and then as against what you're actually making as profit, then I don't see the need. Okay. Um, you have to consider if this is helping you save money or is making extra cash for you, okay, as a business. And I know a sales guru that will say a business owner only wants to hear about how you're helping him save money or make money. If you're not doing those two things, it just automatically means that we're not having a detailed or a very valuable conversation. And this also needs to be considered here, all right, because you need to be sure that whatever it is that you are getting as a solution is helping you save extra cost. And the good news for you is, Payable Africa is free. You're not like paying a subscription cost like a lot of accounting software right there out there, right? You're not paying like an upfront fee to buy the solution because you're not selling. It's transactional, so it operates as a bank pretty much, and it's whatever it is that you do as a transfer or a transaction is where we get to charge just 15 naira. Okay. Please confirm again, Josiah, that you can hear me loud and clear before I go on to the next slide. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Josiah. Okay, so because I also wanted this to be as short as possible, just hitting the pain points, talking about the solution and talking about how you can also explore an ideal or accounts payable automation. I go to my conclusion by saying accounts payable automation is honestly no longer a luxury. Any business that is looking at it as luxurious right now, I don't think they're even ready, right? It is a strategic imperative for any business aiming not just to survive, but to truly thrive and unlock its growth potential in today's dynamic global marketplace. It empowers your team, provides unparalleled financial clarity, it reduces costs for you, it mitigates risks, and fundamentally allows you to make more informed, forward looking decisions about your future. All right, so we get a lot of questions, right? Anytime we're engaging clients or having webinars like this, we always have frequently asked questions like, "Oh, will Payable Africa or any AP automation replace my finance team?" And the answer is no, capital letter no, honestly. What it does for you is it enhances the team. Okay, it just reduces their stress and makes them work more efficiently. Two, how much do I need to pay to come on board with Payable Africa? I think I already mentioned this. It is absolutely free to come on board. The training is free. Whatever it is that you'll be getting as say onboarding, training, support, all of those things are free. However, we operate as a bank, so we're going to be more or less like a business bank, like your organization's bank, and we only charge a transfer fee of 50 naira only, no matter the amount you're sending, honestly. So even if you're sending like a 50 million to a vendor, it's just a 15 naira charge that you incur. All right. And the third question that we usually get mostly is, how can it help me save money? So first off, I also think that this also answers the question of why Payable Africa as against an accounting software or other guys out there, because a lot of them will charge you based on, oh, we do subscription, or there's an upfront fee and you need to buy. But we don't do all of those things because it's free. And we know that as a business, you would definitely have to go to your banking app to make transfers, and you incur those charges here. So why not just come on an accounts payable automation solution that can help you streamline your internal processes, capture all of the things that you're doing real time, and also get the value of a banking application as well, all in one. So it's totally integrated, it's a synchronized solution, and it's very, very robust. Now, let's quickly discuss the key features before I hand over back to Josiah, or we take questions and answers, rather. So, the first feature here is asset management. I might have mentioned this in passing. So, this just pretty much helps you to track, categorize, and control. There's an asset management feature there where you're able to add up all of your assets, and for every single expense or payment to a vendor that you are making, and you're connecting it to an asset, you get to view the assets payout details later, or the asset payout statistics, and you're able to decipher what you have spent so far. And in that light, you're also able to determine a if it's still an asset for you, or it has now become a liability for you in your business. Okay, now you also get like a very detailed insights dashboard management. So there's a very detailed analytics and insights page, that just helps you automatically that just automatically, gives you like an overview or a holistic view of what is going on per time, real time. So you see insight like how many bills that are waiting your approvals, how many vendors you've engaged, the list of vendors with your highest transactions, the categories that you're paying them the most, what have I spent so far on my expenses, what have I spent so far on vendor payments, invoicing, and all of those very, very beautiful analytics. You also get like payroll management. So I already said that it's a very robust solution. So that means that you have the opportunity to process payroll on it as well. Because I mean, every organization will definitely process payroll at the end of the month. So this just means that you get to onboard all of your employees, and then at the end of the month, you just upload and then final approval clicks, and everybody can get paid at the exact same time. There's also like a mini dashboard anyway for your employees where they can track every single payment or salary payment that has come in for them. They also see like their pay slip. They can download their pay slip and use all of these things in their own day-to-day personal lives. All right. There's also expense management on Payable Africa. So you can't worry about missed payments anymore. There are no more manual errors, because for any organization that probably your project based on, not necessarily even project based, as long as you incur like day-to-day expenses, right? And a lot of guys, maybe, or few guys internally have to raise requisitions from time to time. Just imagine a situation or a solution that can help you upload a quick expense. You put in the breakdown of what you are requesting money for. You also can upload an invoice if you need to, and then you just queue it for approval, and you've done your bit. And then whoever also needs to approve, one click of a button moves it to the next level, and the next level, and the next level, until it gets to the final person that hits that last click, and then final approval can trigger the payment automatically. So that just means that because it's a wallet system, of course, right? Money or disbursements can happen almost immediately as soon as the click happens. Okay, there's also project management. There's a project management feature that helps you to, budget effectively. You are adding a new project. I put my operational budgets, that is whatever I'm working with, and you're monitoring how you're spending. How much have I spent so far in this project? This project has been ongoing for how many months now? Because you get to also put the start date, and as soon as you're done with the project, you can just click it or mark it as a completed project, and you get to see when you started and when you ended, how much you spent, the guys that you paid, how much you paid them, and all of those things, right? There's vendor management. So for vendor management, you get to onboard your vendors on the solution. So that just means you are eradicating the aspect of, after any single time that I need to pay a vendor, I have to start looking for their invoices and trying to pull out maybe their account details, because when you get to onboard them, it's a one-off thing, and it just means that all their information is already saved in the cloud for you, and you can pull it out any single time that you want. So at every point in time where you want to pay, just like they're already beneficiaries, you just click on the name, all of the information pops out, and you can also always go and view whatever it is that has transpired between you and a particular vendor. Okay, so this just gives you like a clearer insight as to, oh, how have I engaged this vendor so far? How many times do I pay this person in a month? And all of those things. Okay. There's also marketplace. So marketplace, we all know that. I mean, electricity is our major or our parent company, right? Which is Buy Power. However, the idea of the marketplace on Payable Africa is going to be more than just buying electricity or vending. Okay, it's going to go beyond that, and we intend to make it such that you're able to pay for every single utility bill, electricity, maybe loma, whatever it is in this case, honestly, waste, water, anything that you're paying for, as long as it's a utility bill. And it also means in the same light that you will be able to, buy airtime, buy data, pay for GoTV subscription, DSTV subscription, and a lot of all of those beautiful things that you probably will be doing on the go. And please do not forget that it's also a mobile friendly application. Okay. It's a web app. You can access it on your phone and you can access it on your laptop device. So even if you're on the move or you're going, any single thing that you're doing, oh, approval, I need to do it, just click and then everybody gets paid. Right. You can also integrate. I already mentioned that it can synchronize with any cloud-based solution. So if you have maybe an existing system that helps you capture maybe a part of your business and you just want to use Payable as your banking application or the approval workflow process, that also works. As long as we do like an integration with that accounting system or whatever solution that you have, then you can, start using it there. There's already a QuickBooks integration there anyway. We're also trying to integrate Zoho Books and a couple of other accounting solutions as well. All right. And finally, there's invoicing. So it's good that, we're not just helping you track how you're paying money. We're also helping you track how you're receiving money as a business, because you need to know what your revenue is like, what your profit is like, all the customers you're engaging, and all of those things. So it just means that, you get to generate your invoice, and then your invoice can also carry your business logo, which is powered by Payable, of course, and you share with your customer directly. They see the account number they're paying into, and you can be tracking how they are making payments just by viewing the details of each and every invoice. So it also means for you that, if maybe you're engaging like a lot of guys at the same time, you don't necessarily have to, you know, say, oh, I'm always downloading my statement to see who paid what. Just on my dashboard, I get to, view all of the invoices that I've shared, and then I can track how they are paying me, when they are paying me. I can also trigger reminders if I see that the due date is here, and then maybe I've not received payments from this person. I can quickly trigger a reminder, and person gets a notification via email, and he does the necessary. Okay, so at this point, thank you so much for your time and attention today. I encourage you all to explore how Payable Africa can truly transform your business. Okay, so you can schedule a demo with us. I have a couple of my team members here that will be taking, your information just in case you want to schedule a demo. At this point, I'm now happy and open to, answering all the questions that you might have. Okay, yes, I can see that question. Thank you so much, Christian. So there are no expense limits for you. The first thing is you need to complete your KYC. As soon as you complete that, and what would request from you are just basic documents of your business, like the CAC, proof of address, any utility bill will do, valid ID of the owner. And as soon as we get all of those documents, just like you're opening a bank account, you are able to do unlimited transactions pretty much. So anybody can upload any amount. You can even upload a 5 billion naira request. And as long as you have sufficient money, which is 5 billion, the money moves after the final approval has approved, of course. I hope that's understood. I hope that's clear. Okay. I think there's an enogene. Okay, please go ahead. Okay. I do not want to mispronounce the name, so please go ahead.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for that wonderful insights to Payable. From my end, I think is really a nice solution, but not take much of our time. I'll just like to ask this brief question. So I don't know if I missed it or if you talked about it, but I heard you were talking about making payments. It's account automation software. So which means I get to make payments and track my expenses. So how do I do that? Because I know something like QuickBooks and Zoho, I get to track all of that. But what stands out, like what makes the payment complete on Payable? I don't think I got that. The payment process complete on Payable. I don't think I got that in your presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. So pretty much, I think I might have mentioned it in passing, right? A lot of accounting software, like QuickBooks that you already mentioned, they don't have a wallet system integrated in them. Okay, so that just naturally means that you might be able to save your vendor information there. You might also be able to impute your information after payment. But what stands out Payable would be that it's a wallet system. So that means we get to capture from start to finish. By start, I mean from the invoice upload or the request upload up until the final point of disbursement. I think that captures your. I hope I've answered you.
Yes. Okay. So you have a wallet system integrated in your solution.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So that means is it that I get to register my bank, or with which bank is it residing?
Oh, okay, that's a very good question. Thank you. So we have, I think Josiah, I'm not sure Josiah mentioned, but we have a buy power MFB. That's another subsidiary of Buy Power, obviously. And the bank account that is generated for you on Payable Africa is a Buy Power MFB account. Okay, it's a Buy Power MFB account. So that just means that you get to fund the wallet. So we're also not requesting to integrate with your core banking app. All right. So what this means is that if you have like a budget that you're working with or an amount that you want to spend, you get to move it from your core banking app and fund the payable wallet, and then you can now start making payments on there. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. So which means our bank carries like my business name, because I think you talked about putting
Absolutely.
business logo.
Yes, absolutely. It's
Oh,
opened in your business name. Yes.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you so much for those valid questions. Do we have any other question? Yeah, Mr. Christian, was your question answered the first time? Okay. All right. Okay, good. You said yes. Thank you. Okay. There's an Anna. I think an Anna mentioned if there's a payment per user. Okay, so there's no payment per user, and that's because it's not a subscription-based solution. Okay, it's a transactional based. So that means that for every single team member of yours that will be coming on board, whether 50, whether 100, all of them get free dashboards or free platforms, so to say. All right, because we get to invite all of your team members and then we get to assign like roles and privileges as to what they will be able to do on the solution. Okay, so you can also restrict them from certain things, but to answer your question, no, you don't get to pay for a user to use it. You do not get to pay. The only time we get to start making money as a business is when whatever it is that you do on payable translates into a transfer or a transaction. So it also means that if you've uploaded a request, we don't get to charge. If you have approved the request, we don't get to charge. The only time it becomes money for us is when the final approver approves and the transaction is now completed. I hope that makes sense. I hope that that has been answered. Please let me know if I've answered your question. If you have any other question, please let me know. All right. Okay. Thank you, Anna. She said very clear. Okay. I think Eno Rogene has another question. You're raising your hand. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right. So talking about security, how secure because now you're saying you have a wallet system. I have to put my money in there. What's your security system like for the software?
Okay, so I like to say that it's 100% secure. And honestly speaking, anytime I'm answering this question, I also like to give like a background of Buy Power as a business or as an organization. So we all know that, or maybe we don't know, but Buy Power has partnered with all the discos in Nigeria, right? And what we do for them majorly is collection. So that just means that if the discos in Nigeria can trust us enough to, do collection for them. And even before, I think at the time we started the partnership, we used to actualize, say, about 4 billion in revenue monthly. But right now, as we speak, we're happy to say that we, process over 34 billion in revenue monthly with these discos. So if they can trust us with that kind of amount, then it pretty means that it pretty much means that it's absolutely secure. Also, we also tell our customers that if you're coming on board and you want to be extra secure, right, you can always enable your 2FA. So there's a 2FA, that's a two-factor authentication on the solution, and it just translates to the fact that anytime you need to say log in into the platform, you're requested to impute like a verification code that you might have gotten via SMS. And then it's only that time, that's the only time that you get to, enter into your platform. We can also sign SLAs if maybe you still want to take it further. However, the idea of the SLA really is just so that you can, you're rest assured that all of your, say, data security, your money, all these things are secure. And if anything happens, oh, I want to sue. We know we won't get there, but we're just telling you that if you want to, if you feel like you feel, more secure with that, then we're open to that as well. We really have nothing to hide. I hope that has been answered.
Yes, thank you very much for that. So it means that I can sue you if I want to. That's the only thing I'm taking from that.
It means you can what? Sorry, I didn't get that.
I can sue you guys if the name.
Okay, all right, but we won't get there anyway. We won't get there. But yes, 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 you can.
Thank you.
All right, so I think we have another question from Mr. Christian. Do I need your staff to onboard me or it's easy to use? Okay, so it's a two-way thing and it's also a personal thing for you. We provide support when it comes to onboarding and training. However, Payable is honestly very easy to use, easy to navigate. But because it's a solution that, we built, we believe that we probably know more than anybody coming on board. So just so you're conversant with whatever it is that you are going to be doing going forward. And also because we're dealing with money, we don't want a situation whereby you are making mistakes here and the money is hanging, right? So we just advise that we help with the onboarding process, we train you, and it doesn't even end there because there's like a 247 support group on WhatsApp that we open for you the moment you're coming on board. So anytime you come on, as soon as you come on board, rather, you have that group, and there is a designated support person for your business. So just solely for you. So it means anytime you have maybe escalations or you have questions or feedback, you can drop it on the group, and the person would have to spring into action, to answer or to help you out or support you, so to say. I hope that's understood. Is that clear, Mr. Christian? Okay, thank you, Christian. Thank you. Is there any other question? Do we have any other question at this point? Is the software available in other countries? Can I use it outside Nigeria? Okay. Okay, all right. That's actually a very good question, honestly. And I also see, okay, is the software okay? So let me answer the first one, which is the software available in other countries? The answer is no for now, obviously, right? However, on the Payable dashboard, when you log in, you get to see like a USD wallet and a Naira wallet. That's because we used to process, USD payments before we now decided to fully go into Naira payments. And the reason why we stopped that online transfers was because, there are a lot of instances where people will buy a certain rate and then you give us like the Naira equivalent before it even hits our accounts. Maybe the rate has changed. That was the time that, dollar was very fluid, right? Because of the fluidity of USD and the volatility of dollar, of course. But right now, it's done offline. But what we say to a lot of people right now is Payable is just majorly for Nigerian businesses as it stands now. It doesn't mean that we would not decide to expand it maybe in the near future. Say we can decide to say, oh, let's start processing Ghana cedis or India rupees and all of those things. But for now, it's just Naira payments. Okay, can I use it outside? Is the software available on iOS? Where can I download and explore? Okay, very good question. I think I already mentioned anyway that it's a web application. So that means it's not a mobile app right now that you can download. The reason is because we're still implementing a lot of features and we like a situation where our customers can give us feedback so that we can implement and add and make it better part time. Okay. But in the case of having to download it, the moment you download a particular version, it means any single time we add like or implement a new feature, you have to go and be updating like WhatsApp, and all of those things can be very tiring, especially when it comes to how money is moving or delaying processes, or maybe somebody is unable to download the latest version and you're unable to, enter your platform. Because I mean, we're trying to streamline processes and not complicate it for you. So yes, that's the idea for now. But maybe in the near future, we can, convert it into a mobile app, just like Buy Power is right now. But for now, it's just a web application. I hope that answers it, please. So you can just put the link or the URL on any browser, say Chrome, Micro, Edge, any browser at all, and it will take you straight to the dashboard as long as you log in, of course. Is there any other question? Do we have any other question at this point? Okay. How do I close or deactivate my account? For example, if I stop running my business. Okay, let me be sure that I got that right. Just a minute. How do I close or deactivate my account, for example? Okay. All right. So closing your accounts would mean that you have to reach out to the support team. All right, because we want to be sure of the reason that you're closing your account for. Because we also do not want a situation whereby, it's somebody else that is maybe talking in your stead, and then we just close the account and all of your transaction history is gone, because this has to do with data, right? So if you have a good reason to close your account or delete an account or deactivate, you might have to reach out to the support team. But honestly, I don't even think we have closed any account at all so far, because nobody has had a reason, to close an account with us. All of the accounts that have been opened have say they've been satisfied so far. I like to put it that way. So yes. So you have to have like a very, very cogent reason as to why you want to close it. And then, we internally will decide if it's reason enough to deactivate. I hope that answers your question, ma'am. Okay, so yes, so Josiah is sending in the chat box the link to schedule a demo for Payable Africa, and then we can just assign, our team members to do a demo, have a demo with you. I also want to believe that for a lot of people that your questions have been answered here, you have already hit that link and you have already scheduled your demo. I want to believe. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is a very, very good question. You said since it's a standalone software, how and why do I need to integrate? Okay, fantastic. So the reason for, or the need, or the reason that you even have an option to integrate at all is because some people would say, oh, I still want to be using my QuickBooks, for instance, for my vendor upload and all of those things. However, um, I will get to do approvals on Payable, and the moment the payment happens on Payable, it just automatically hits the books and hitting the right classification in my QuickBooks. So what this helps you for or with is that you have eradicated any manual entry or input at all. Okay, you don't necessarily have to, because how QuickBooks or any accounting software works right now would be that after your payment in your banking solution, you have to come back and enter the information of that payment that you just made. Okay, so that you are able to keep track of, oh, who paid, when I paid what, and why I paid XYZ. However, with an integration with Payable, with an already existing accounting solution, the payment just automatically hits the books in the right classification without necessarily allowing your team members to have like a manual data entry, so to say. I hope that answers the question. But Payable can also be a standalone solution for you. So if you want to discard your accounting system and you think maybe it's not doing enough, right? Oh, that's okay, because Payable really does a lot anyway. It does, pretty much what an accounting solution would do and much more. All right. So that's really where we are right now and where we have gotten to. Okay. All right. It says great. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we look forward to, having your scheduled demos, so that somebody in the team can just attend to you, and then you can ask more questions if there are. We look forward to having you all on board with Payable Africa. Thank you so much, Josiah, for anchoring this session. I will drop my mic now.